Greetings, my noble knights. It is I, Blaze Templar, and we are here with our week 4 team builder. I am actually currently miserable. I went and ate at McDonald's. Why? Because I was just hungry and I didn't want to deal with things, and turned out that was a bad idea. So I'm a little miserable at the moment. Can't. It's not fun. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the teams. So this week we are against none other than the Wisconsin Dusknoirs, which has a Z Aerodactyl, Z emboar, Aromatasi, Caphagrigus, Drapion, Fortress, Heliolisk, Piloswine, Milotic, Rampardos, and Sceptile Mega. Now, he has actually a very quick team. He does have a couple of really hard hitters and a couple of very bulky boys in Milotic, Fortress, and Drapion. But he is a very offensively based team, and he has a lot of very quick Pokemon. So those are issues we have to keep in mind. However, that being said, Honchkrow very well late game can sweep pretty much his entire team outside of maybe Mamoswine, but I have Sucker Punch, so I can work around that. And if it's bulky enough, it'll just one-shot Piloswine if I've got enough Moxie boosts up, and if I've weakened it enough. So I think Honchkrow is going to be a pretty big player. Yanmega, also a big player because it's really my best way to outspeed things like his Mega Sceptile. Alolan Marowak could be useful, so those are things we have to keep in mind. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the team we decided to run this week. Despite him having a Mega Sceptile, Quagsire actually walls a lot of his team. It just does really well. It's my best choice to go into against most variants of emboar. It's not going to be 100% effective, obviously, because it's still going to hit incredibly hard with like superpower. And because of Unaware, it can actually take more damage. Unaware actually ignores stat drops too, so got to keep that in mind. But it was better than Water Absorb and kind of shuts down any potential setup mons he might have gone for. So really good there. Encore to lock him into like Flare Blitz or something if he decides he wants to keep Flare Blitzing. Just options for me there. Scald, just to get off some damage and possible burns on a handful of his attackers. Most notably the Aerodactyl and the Drapion. Although getting a burn on Piloswine is something I would not complain about. So Scald, very overall useful move. Toxic, help wear things down. Recover again because you'd want to keep Quagsire alive as long as possible. Anyway, leftovers, max physical defense. I just want to make this thing as bulky as possible on the physical side. The next one is, in fact, Vileplume, and this is actually a very trolly set. Aromatherapy, so I can get rid of any status conditions. It's a poison type, so if he does use Drapion's toxic spikes, it doesn't matter. I can just go into this. Aromatherapy, any other toxic Pokemon. Strength Sap to weaken those physical attackers so other Pokemon can handle them a little bit better. Obviously, Quagsire doesn't care too much about it, but say I need to go into Xatu or something, it overall helps. So, yeah, Strength Sap, just weaken your opponents quite a bit. Sludge Bomb, just for some stab. Hits things like his Mega Sceptile pretty hard. And the only thing it doesn't hit really is his Fortress. It does hit Aromatasi pretty well too. So Sludge Bomb was the thing to go for. Went for Leech Seed and Strength Sap just to make this thing incredibly hard to kill. And with max special defense, it will be quite bulky. Effect Spore, just in case you decide you're going to hit me anyway and I don't get a Toxic off or something. Just some status would be really nasty to deal with. Sleep, Paralyze, or Poison. All of them are nice. Anyway, next is another specially defensive Pokemon. Although I probably should change that. I don't know. Did I have a reason for special? I think it was mostly for Milotic. Because Magic Bounce. Yeah, that must have been why. And then Reflect kind of helps mitigate the defensive drop. So it works out okay there. Added in a little bit of speed to help out as well. Just overall handy stuff. Tailwind makes it so I'm actually quicker than basically his entire team. U-turn to get out, defog to keep hazards off, and Reflect to ensure that we can reduce damage. I am running Papa Berry just to have that prop keep Xatu alive a little longer without having to rely on leftover recovery, as I'm not running Roost. I thought the Papa Berry would work out better. So that's why we're running it. Oh, that's the wrong natured berry, though. Agwith Berry. Whoops! I'm glad I went over the team builder. It would have been bad not to catch that, so we're going to actually copy real quick so we can put it on the right one. Moving on, Yanmega, again, talked about it. Running Hidden Power Fire to get rid of Fortress, mostly Ominous Wind and Air Slash. Bug really isn't all that helpful this week, so works out pretty well. Just a really good Pokemon overall. Flying MZ actually will OHKO some things and do a lot of damage to other things and just give me something to hit incredibly hard with. I'm actually running the Salic Berry. Again, I didn't run Heat Wave this time around, as I don't really see a necessity to it. Brave Bird, Night Slash, Sucker Punch, and Roost. That way I can keep Honchkrow alive a little longer if needed. Actually, that might not be the best play with Roost. Maybe I will run Heat Wave. Actually, yeah, we will put Heat Wave on, I think. Or, wait, no, that's because he has some priority in Sucker Punch. That's right. I was running Roost just to play those mind games. I'm very likely to switch that to Heat Wave. I'm going to think about that a little bit. I have the battle in just a few minutes, so that's a thing. But last but not least is Cloyster. I'm running it, so after a Shell Smash, it outspeeds basically everything it can, and there are a couple things that still outspeed it, most notably Scarfed Heliolisk, and I can't outspeed that, so I just put the rest into HP just to make it a little bit bulkier. Wide Herb and Skill Link just to make it so it's pretty bulky, and with the Shell Smash, Icicle Spear, Liquidation, and Hidden Power Fire, it's got good coverage. With the fact I'm running Wide Herb, I should be able to take a Sucker Punch, so I'm not as worried, and it's not like Ice Shard would do a lot to, say, the main Sucker Punch users he's got. And Icicle Spear just completely demolishes things like his Mega Sceptile. So that's why that's there. I don't really need Rock Blast this week. Hidden Power Fire lets me get past the one thing that could stall me out, being the Fortress. He'd have to be running max special defense to take a couple of those. I think he can take like 1.5. So, yeah, no, it's not exactly ideal. If he switches in and I predict that and I get the Hidden Power Fire off, another one will take him out. So, Cloyster, really good late-game sweeper. I think it'll work quite well for me. So that's the team. And I will see you in the battle shortly. Goodbye.